Hello students, welcome to Unschooler, India's exclusive online e-learning platform. I am Dr. Manisha, your chemistry mentor. Students, today's topic is how strong are acids and basic solution. So, you know about acid and a base and how do they differ from each other. Now the question is how to measure the strength of an acid or basic solution. So to know the strength of the acid or basic solution, generally we use indicators for that. And you know what is universal indicator? Universal indicator is a mixture of indicators and it gives different colors at different ranges. And what else? And what is pH actually? There is a term which we use to measure the strength of acids or basic solutions. So pH, we write it like this, where P stands for the power or potens. Actually in German language it is potens, that means power. So the strength of acid and basic solutions, it is measured by using a scale, and this scale is known as pH scale. So let us see how it works. Suppose there is a scale and here it is 7, the value is 7, and on the right hand side the values are increasing, that is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. And on the left hand side, if you will look at the left hand side, so values will be like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So there is a scale like this and the value at the 7, if the pH is 7, it is considered as neutral. So pH 7 means it is neutral, whatever the solution is. So it will be considered as neutral. And if it is more than 7, so whatever it is, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it will move on the right hand side of the scale, that is above 7, it becomes basic. The nature of the substance whose pH lies in this range will be basic. Suppose the pH is 8, 9. So if it is 8 or 9, it is not very basic, but it is basic in nature. So how do we get the strength? As we move on, as the number is increasing, 8, 9, 10. So at 14, it will be very basic. If a substance is showing a pH of 14, that means it is very basic, or we use another term, alkaline. And what about this? That is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if any substance shows pH which is less than 7, so it will be considered as acidic. Nature of the substance will be acidic, and the acid strength, as the pH decreases, the acid strength, it increases. So at the pH 1, it will be most acidic. So if a substance shows a value of pH 1, that means it is most acidic or very acidic. So this is how we measure the pH. So this is how we represent it, and potens, as I told you, it is the power and it is a German word. And look at the pH. So pH 7 is what? Neutral. And if it is more than 7, then basic. And if it any substance shows a pH of 14, that means it is very basic in nature, of alkaline nature. And as we move on the left hand side of the scale, that is below 7, so the acidic character starts. So 6, 7, acidic, not very strong. Then these are mild, medium strength. And then 1 and 2 means most or very acidic substance. So this is how we use the pH scale for measuring the pH of various substances. And there are many substances around us, and they have different nature, like the substances which we eat or we use in our daily life. They all have a specific pH. And pH, actually body also maintains our pH. And do you know, in our body, in our stomach, there is hydrochloric acid present. So acid, actually the medium acidic, it plays a very important role, because certain enzymes, they work only in the acidic medium. So HCl, can you imagine, it is there in our body, but it is not harmful to us. It helps in the process of digestion. So pH plays a very important role in our life, like the water which we drink, it should be actually neutral. So pH of water is around 7. So that shows it is neutral. So it should not be acidic and or basic. So we check the pH of every substance, whether it is edible or not. See, like in many substances, natural substances, like onion, oranges, lemon, they all show a specific pH. But the pH, it should be like that, it should not harm the body. So it is mentioned on many products what is the pH, like the soap which we use. It should not be very acidic or basic in nature. So they also maintains a pH. And it is very helpful for the farmers also. So how it helps the farmers? To know the pH of the soil. So farmers, actually, they go to the centers, specific centers are there to check the pH of the soil. Because if the soil is too acidic or too basic, it is not good for the production of crop. So to check the pH, they go to the centers, check the pH of the soil, and then if it is acidic in nature, then some base is added. It is advised to them to add some base to neutralize it. Okay. So similarly, in our day-to-day life, pH, actually it plays a very important role. pH 10. So it is basic, and example is milk of magnesia. And the very basic substances like NaOH. So it shows a pH of around 14. That is most basic. And if you look at the acidic side, so around 2.2 is the pH of lemon juice, and 1.2 to 1.5, that is acidic, very acidic. And gastric juices, they show a pH of around 1.2. So this is how actually it helps in our digestion. The pH of the HCl which is present in the stomach, various medicines which we consume, and the substances where we need the acidic or basic substances. So we can use the pH value and how to find out the pH. Correct? So if you look at the scale, the various pH ranges you can see, and they give different colors actually. So by looking at the color, you can make out, take the substance whose pH you have to measure, and for that, like this is some basic substance. So what you have to do, take the sample and you can put the, there are pH strips. So they give, if you dip the strip into this, small strips are there which are called pH strips. So they give actually different colors. Like for basic, it is greenish to violet, and in case of acidic, so most acidic will show the red color. Initially it will be orange, then shifting gradually towards the light red, dark red color. So by looking at the color of these strips, we can find out the, we can get the idea of the pH of that particular substance. So it helps us to find out the exact pH, or you can say the range of the pH. And there are instruments also. If you want to know the exact value of the pH, so we use pH meter for that. And nowadays, do you know, pH is to measure the pH value. It is like a pen-like structure. It is digital. So just simply dip the tip of the pen into the solution whose pH you want to determine. You will get the reading. It is digital pens. These are available to find out the pH. So by using other instruments also in the laboratory, we can find out the pH of any substance, because in chemistry there are many reactions which are pH specific. We need a certain pH, or you can say acidic or basic medium, to perform the reaction.